The girl who ruined me. I don't even know how to start this story. Maybe with the night I met her, Liana. I was working late at the campus radio station, volunteering. I always stayed behind to clean up because I had no one to go home to. She walked in like she owned the place. Red jacket. Eyes that didn't look at you, they looked through you. Liana, you're still here? That's cute. I laughed awkwardly. I didn't know what to say. She had that kind of beauty that makes you feel like apologizing just for existing in the same room. She leaned over the counter, her hair brushing my arm. Liana, play me something sad. Like Heartbreak. I played Radiohead True Love Waits. She didn't move, just stared at me with this unreadable face. Liana, perfect. You're weird. I like that. That's how it started. I wasn't ready for someone like her. I'd never even had a girlfriend before. I was the quiet type, books, tech, music. Not exactly the guy girls flirted with. But Liana? She made me feel seen. She messaged me the next day. We talked until sunrise. And when she kissed me the first time, I thought, maybe this is finally my moment. Liana, don't fall in love with me. She said it like a joke. But I didn't listen. I fell. Hard. She was unpredictable. One moment soft, the next cold. She'd vanish for hours, then show up at my dorm window at 2 a.m., shivering and laughing. Liana, let me in before I disappear forever. I should have known. Disappearing was her specialty. The first red flag was small. I caught her texting someone named Jax at 3 a.m. She said it was her cousin. I didn't push it. Then came the parties. She never invited me. Said I'd kill the vibe. I swallowed the insult. I was afraid of losing her. Me. I just want to be part of your world. Liana, you are. Just not every part. I convinced myself she was right. I wasn't cool enough for her scene. I waited for her like a loyal dog while she got drunk with strangers. Sometimes she'd show up smelling like cigarettes and sex. I never asked questions. I didn't want the answers. 2 months in, I caught her cheating. Not even by accident. She showed me. We were at her place, watching a movie. Her phone buzzed. She laughed and opened it. A video. Her. Naked. On top of someone else. Me. What the fuck is this? Liana, relax. It's old. Me. He called you Liana last night. She didn't even blink. She paused the video, looked at me like I was overreacting. Liana, it's not a big deal. It's just sex. I sat there shaking. My face burned. My stomach turned inside out. Me. I love you. Liana, that's your problem. She went back to watching the movie. I should have left. I know that. But I was addicted to her. She knew exactly how to pull me back in. A smile, a promise, a fake tear. One time she showed up in the rain, barefoot, shivering. Liana, no one else cares like you. I'm scared of who I am. I let her in. Again. I told myself I could fix her. I told myself she was broken and I was her glue. What I didn't know was that she wasn't broken. She was rotten. She started playing games. Flirting with my friends. Posting cryptic photos with captions like, he doesn't even know. I'd confront her. Me. What are you doing? Liana. Testing you. You failed. Me. You're trying to hurt me. Liana. No. I'm trying to wake you up. Wake me up to what? She called me boring. Weak. Pathetic. Liana, you're the kind of guy who begs. That's not attractive. And still, I stayed. Because when she was soft, when she looked at me like I mattered, it was like heroin. I was chasing that high. That one look that made me feel real. She humiliated me in front of people. At a party, she pretended not to know me. I walked up to her while she was sitting on some guy's lap. Me. Liana. Can we talk? She looked me dead in the eyes. Liana, do I know you? People laughed. I walked out and threw up in the bushes. Later she texted. Liana, you were so cute tonight. I blocked her. She showed up at my door 2 days later, blood on her knuckles. Liana, I got in a fight. I had nowhere else to go. I let her in. She moved in. Just like that. No warning. She brought her things. Took over my bed. Took over my life. My grades dropped. I stopped eating. I lost friends. She read my journal. Mocked my poetry. Laughed during sex. Liana, do you always moan like a virgin? She told her friends I was obsessed. That I threatened her. That she was scared of me. None of it was true. But I couldn't prove it. She started recording me. Not sweet moments. Breakdowns. Me crying. Me begging. Me hitting myself in the face during an anxiety attack. One night, I woke up to her filming me. Me, what the fuck are you doing? Liana, documenting. Me. Why? Liana, you'll see. She leaked the videos. To everyone. Posted them anonymously. Me crying, sobbing, shaking. Called me the breakup clown. It went viral. People from my college commented. Comment, he cries like a toddler. Embarrassing. Comment, this is why girls cheat. Look at him. My professors saw it. My mom saw it. My ex from high school sent me a laughing emoji. I tried to disappear. I stopped going to class. I deleted all my accounts. I slept 14 hours a day just to not exist. The worst was the final video. She filmed herself talking about me. Liana. On video, he told me he wanted to marry me. I said, babe, I already faked the orgasm. I can fake the vows too. Laughter in the background. Liana. Guys like him are practice. You date them to learn what not to want. I don't remember much after watching that. Just waking up on my bathroom floor with empty pill bottles beside me. Part 2, I didn't die. I don't know if I wanted to or if I was just desperate to stop the pain. But my roommate found me. Called 911. They pumped my stomach and left me in a white room under harsh lights with nurses who wouldn't make eye contact. My mom flew in the next day. She held my hand like I was 5 again. I couldn't look her in the eyes. Mom, we'll get through this. You're not alone. But I was. She didn't know what I had become. The guy in the video wasn't just crying. He was broken. He was howling, screaming, naked in every way. And the whole world had watched it. They put me on suicide watch for 72 hours. No shoelaces, no mirrors, no sharp objects. Just me, a mattress, and a therapist who asked too many questions. Therapist, tell me what happened. Me, she happened. I couldn't explain it. Not in a way that made sense. Not in a way that made me sound sane. How do you tell someone you got addicted to being treated like trash? When I got out, I tried to start over. New haircut, deleted socials, moved into a new dorm across campus. But the whispers followed me. Student, behind my back, isn't that the guy? The crybaby. I'd be walking to class and hear laughter. I'd open my laptop and find memes someone made of me. They called me Liana's pet. A Reddit thread popped up. Title, I was in class with him. AMA. Comment, he used to sit in the front row and now he just stares out the window. LOL. And her? She was thriving. Her account hit 100K followers. People praised her authenticity for exposing toxic men. She got sponsorships. She did a podcast, told the story from her angle. Liana, on podcast, I was stuck in a manipulative relationship. I recorded everything for my safety. Host, you were so brave. Liana, I was scared for my life. He threatened to hurt himself if I ever left. Lies. All of it. But who would believe me? The videos made me look insane. I was insane. Because of her. One night, I saw her in town. She was holding hands with a guy. Tall. Perfect jawline. Confident. She saw me. Smiled. Not a genuine smile. A smirk. Like she still owned me. She whispered something to the guy, and he laughed. They walked right past me like I didn't exist. I went home and smashed everything I owned. Glass. Speakers. Laptop. Gone. I stood in the middle of the destruction, breathing like a feral animal. I picked up a shard of glass and stared at it. I thought about carving her name into my chest. I didn't, but I wanted to. I started going to underground forums. Not healthy places, dark ones. Places where guys like me gathered. Men who had been humiliated, ruined, manipulated. They told their stories. Worse than mine. Some lost jobs. Some lost custody of their kids. Some went to prison because she cried and said he hit me. It was a pit of rage and grief. But it made me feel less alone. That's when I started documenting everything. Every screenshot. Every voicemail. Every blurred memory. I started writing my story like a report. Clinical. Cold. No emotions. I didn't want revenge. I wanted clarity. But revenge came anyway. A guy messaged me. Said he used to date Liana too. Said she did the same thing to him. Only he didn't try to kill himself. He tried to kill her. He failed. Ended up in jail for a year. She never pressed charges because, in his words, she liked knowing she pushed me that far. He offered to help me destroy her. I said no, but I kept the screenshots he sent me. The pictures. The voice notes. They were horrifying. Liana, voice note, he said he loved me. So I made him watch me with his brother. He cried. I came. I vomited after hearing that. I took a job off campus at a dusty old bookstore. No one knew me there. The owner, Greg, was kind. Gave me space. Paid under the table. told me to keep my head down and my heart guarded. One night, he found me crying in the storeroom. Greg, heartbreak. Me, it's beyond that. Greg, tell me the truth. Was it heartbreak or was it warfare? He wasn't wrong. She didn't just break me. She waged a psychological war. She stripped away my dignity piece by piece until I was just skin and nerves and shame. It had been 6 months. I hadn't seen her, hadn't heard her voice. Then I got a letter. No return address. Inside, a photo of us from when she first moved in. She was smiling. I was asleep, curled around her. On the back, she wrote, "Liana, handwritten, you were always too soft for this world. I love that about you. That's why I had to break it." I threw the letter into the fire, and I swore, in that moment, that I would never let anyone do that to me again. Part 3. Some people heal. Some people survive. I didn't do either. I just adapted. I became someone else. The boy she broke? I buried him. The new me didn't flinch at pain. He expected it. Welcomed it. I stopped talking to anyone who didn't know what it felt like to be humiliated. I stayed quiet, kept my head down, and waited. Waited for what? I don't know. Maybe to forget. Maybe to forgive. Maybe to erase her. But she never let me. Her face was everywhere. On billboards. On TikTok. On my screen. She turned my collapse into her platform. She published a book, Red Flags and Sad Boys. I didn't read it, but someone sent me a screenshot. A full chapter was about me. She didn't use my real name, but it was obvious. Excerpt. He would cry if I didn't text back in 5 minutes. I felt like I was babysitting an emotional toddler. There was more. Excerpt. One time, I told him I'd cheated and he offered to forgive me if I promised to stop. I realized in that moment, I could do anything to him. He was addicted to pain. She was right. The bookstore was my only safe place. But even that was shattered. One day I came in and Greg was on his phone, staring at something. He didn't look at me. He just slid his phone across the counter. It was a video. Liana. Talking to a podcast host again. Host, some say you were too harsh. That you traumatized him. Liana? Trauma? Please. He filmed himself crying and tried to make me feel bad. Men weaponize sadness now. It's pathetic. Host, do you regret what happened? Liana. No. I regret not leaving sooner. Then she pulled out a copy of her book and held it up to the camera. Liana. He bought 5 copies. Probably jerks off to them. Greg looked at me. Greg. Did you? Me. No. He didn't believe me. He didn't need to. I quit the next day. I spiraled again. This time it wasn't pills or blades. It was numbness. I'd lie in bed, stare at the ceiling, and feel nothing. No hunger. No anger. No grief. Just a slow, hollow burn. I imagined her sitting on my chest, whispering, "Liana," in my head, "you'll never forget me." And I didn't. Then came the email. A burner account. No subject line. Just one sentence. Email. She's done it again. You weren't the last. Attached were voice memos. Screenshots. A zip file. The sender? No name. Just the letter C. Inside the folder, a girl. Younger than Liana. Maybe 19. Her face was bruised. Her voice shook in the recordings. Girl, voice memo. I thought she loved me. She told me I was hers. Then she made me beg her not to hurt my dog. I dropped my phone. She wasn't just cruel. She was calculated. She didn't just ruin me. She was collecting souls like trophies. Every person she touched walked away worse. I started connecting the dots. There was a pattern. Always the same. She found the broken ones. The gentle ones. The lonely. She made them feel chosen. Then destroyed them. Publicly. Quietly. Whichever was more devastating. And when they were on the edge, she'd whisper, "Liana, recording, I'm the best thing that ever happened to you. And I'm the one who will bury you." Why? Why did she do this? I started emailing C, asking questions, needing answers. Eventually they replied. Email from C. She does it because she can. Because no one stops her. Because people clap when a pretty girl calls a man weak. And they were right. She was untouchable. She had the world on her side. Feminist icon. Bad bitch energy. Trauma queen. And I was the ghost. The broken ex. The meme. But ghosts don't stay dead forever. That's when I did something reckless. I wrote her a letter. Handwritten. No return address. Me in the letter. You won. I admit it. You destroyed me. But now you'll remember that the only reason you exist as a star is because I let you climb on my corpse to get there. I mailed it. 2 days later, she posted a picture on Instagram. Caption: even ghosts write love letters. Love letter. The picture? Me. Crying. In her bed. Taken without my knowledge. The comments were brutal. Comment: he's still obsessed with her? Comment: beta tears taste like candy. I didn't sleep for 3 days. I started seeing shadows. Hearing her voice and water dripping from the tap. I imagined slamming her head into a wall. I imagined pulling her in close and never letting go. But I never touched her. I'm not like her. Instead, I started building a file. A real one. Names, dates, patterns, evidence. And one day, maybe soon, maybe years from now, I'll show the world exactly what she is. Not a queen, not a survivor, a sadist. And I was her first masterpiece. Part 4. The file kept growing. Screenshots, emails, anonymous testimonies. Some of them were anonymous only because the people were too scared to speak openly. Others? They were already gone. One guy, Nathan, had taken his life 2 years before I ever met Liana. His sister found my post on a survivors forum and reached out. Nathan's sister messaged she was his first love. She made him cut off all his friends, stop talking to our parents, said it was us against the world. Then she started cheating, filmed it, made him watch. Me, reply: I know. I believe you. Nathan's sister, his note just said, tell her she won. That's it. Nothing else. I stared at that message for hours. I could have been Nathan. Hell, maybe I was. I became obsessed. I tracked her online presence. Created burner accounts just to watch what she posted, what she liked, who she followed. She was with a new guy now. Tatted, loud, probably rich. He looked like he could snap me in half. But I knew that look in his eyes. It was the same one I wore the first time she told me I was everything she ever wanted. The hunger to matter. He didn't know yet. Didn't know what was coming. I thought about warning him. I didn't. One night, I got drunk. The kind of drunk where you don't even want to stop. I stared at myself in the mirror and couldn't see anything real. Just a smear of a person. So I opened Instagram. Went to her newest post. She was laughing, holding a glass of wine, her dress sliding off her shoulder. That guy's hand on her thigh. And I commented. Me comment: how many more people do you need to ruin before you feel whole? I hit send. Blocked her. Threw my phone across the room. Felt a little better. The next morning, there were messages. Not from her. From him. Her new boyfriend. DM from at Vinny Free Show. You jealous little worm? You think she even remembers your name? Second message. Come say that shit to my face. I'll bury you. I laughed. He didn't know he was just a tool. A temporary plaything. He didn't know she probably called him the same nickname she used on me. Said the same lines. Liana, in my memory, you're the only one who gets me. I've never trusted anyone like I trust you. She had scripts. She was an actress. And every one of us was just a prop. C kept sending me files. More girls. One had a recording. She was crying. Girl, recording she made me drink until I passed out. Then told everyone I cheated on her. She broke my phone so I couldn't call anyone. Said if I told anyone, I'd look crazy. Another girl said Liana faked a pregnancy. Told her boyfriend she was keeping the baby. Then said she miscarried when he didn't buy her a car. Email from C. This isn't just abuse. It's recreational. She does it for fun. I didn't argue. They were right. I had dreams. Sometimes I was drowning, and she was holding my head underwater, smiling. Other nights, she was in bed with me again, whispering things. Liana, dream, you were nothing before me. I made you interesting. I made you suffer because you were boring. I'd wake up shaking. Once I woke up screaming. My neighbor banged on the wall. Neighbor, through wall, shut the hell up, freak. It was then that I started writing again. Not just for the file. For me. I wrote everything I remembered. Every time she called me worthless. Every moment I bent my spine to make her happy. Every time she told me to shut up when I cried. Liana, memory, you think your pain is attractive? You look pathetic when you cry. Wipe your damn face. I filled notebooks. They were messy, angry, ugly, but they were mine. Pages of blood, basically. I sent one chapter to C. They read it and replied. See email, this is the most honest thing I've ever read. It hurts to read, but I couldn't stop. She needs to be exposed. You should publish it. Me. No one would believe me. C. You'd be surprised. That's when the idea hit me. What if I did publish it? But not like some sad little blog post. Anonymously. As fiction. She couldn't sue me for that. I'd call it The Girl Who Ate Hearts. I'd make her the villain she really was. Not just a narcissist. A predator. I stayed up for days writing, polishing, crafting each scene like a knife. By the end of the week, I had 300 pages. I uploaded it to a self-pub site, used a fake name, and I waited. It blew up. Reddit found it. Twitter found it. Someone started a thread. This book is clearly about Liana B. It went viral. The comparisons were undeniable. Quotes from her real life. Words she actually said. Even the way she styled her hair. Her fans went feral. Half of them defended her. Half started to turn on her. 2 weeks later, she went live. Her face was pale. Lips tight. Not her usual flirty self. Liana, Instagram Live. There's a disgusting book circulating that falsely portrays me as some kind of abuser. It's not true. It's fiction. But the similarities are dangerous. Then she started crying. But not real tears. I knew her tells. She dabbed at dry eyes. Liana, this is a targeted attack. From someone who wants to destroy me. She never said my name. But the way she stared at the camera? She knew it was me. She'd met me that night. A new burner account. Liana DM. You think this makes us even? Then another. Liana. Don't forget who taught you how to bleed pretty. And one more. Liana. If I go down, I'm taking you with me. I didn't respond. But for the first time in forever, I smiled. Because now, she was the one unraveling. And I still had more to tell. Part 5. After the book blew up, everything shifted. The air felt lighter. My hands didn't shake as much. My sleep came easier. I had no illusions. I wasn't better. I wasn't healed. But I had a weapon now. She wasn't just the untouchable goddess anymore. She was human, cracked, and I'd handed her a mirror that showed every rot in her soul. She hated it, which meant I'd done it right. But I knew she wouldn't let it end there. And she didn't. 2 weeks after the release, I was sitting in a cafe when my phone buzzed. Text from Greg. Yo man, you need to see this. He sent a link. YouTube. A video. 54 minutes long. Title. Exposing my abusive ex. Why I stayed quiet. Trigger warning. The thumbnail was her face. Eyes puffy. Lips trembling. She was going nuclear. I didn't want to watch it. But I had to. For closure. Or preparation. Or something. I put on headphones. Hit play. Liana video. This is the hardest thing I've ever done. I never wanted to speak on this. But lies are being spread about me, and I can't be silent anymore. She took a dramatic breath. Liana. When I was 19, I met someone who seemed perfect. Kind. Sensitive. But over time, I realized he was deeply manipulative. He weaponized his sadness. Made me feel guilty for not loving him enough. I froze. That was me. Liana. He recorded our arguments. Without consent. He threatened self-harm every time I tried to leave. He even messaged my friends pretending to be me. I felt trapped. Terrified. None of that was true. Not a single word. But she said it so convincingly. So tearfully. Her audience swallowed it whole. The comments were already flooding in. Comment. Men are the real narcissists. She's so brave for sharing. Comment. I knew there was something off about that book. She's the victim. Comment. Burned that ex's life to the ground. I closed the video. Heart pounding. She'd flipped the script. I was now the monster. The abuser. The manipulator. And I knew what would come next. It started with DMs. Random account. Kill yourself, creep. Another one. You messed with the wrong woman. Then came the threats. Then the doxing. My address was leaked. Someone sent pizza to my apartment. Paid in cash. I didn't order it. The next day, a funeral wreath. I stopped leaving the house. I locked all my social media. I stopped answering calls. I was a prisoner again, not in her arms, but in the shadow she cast over me. And yet, I didn't regret it. She was bleeding too. This was a war now, and I was done playing defense. I reached out to see again. Told them everything. The backlash. The threats. The video. They told me to wait. See email. She's overplaying her hand. She's used to winning. Used to people fearing her. But she's sloppy when cornered. They were right. Because a week later, one of her old friends came forward. A girl named Bryn. Used to be her roommate. She posted a thread on X, formerly Twitter. @BrynNotBroken. I was friends with Liana for 3 years. I saw what she did to people. I saw her laugh when her boyfriend cried. I saw her fake a panic attack to get out of being caught cheating. That book? It's not fiction. I saw it happen. Then she posted a video. It was old, grainy. Liana, holding a phone up to the camera. She was mocking someone, a guy sobbing off-screen. Liana video. He just found out IF asterisk Ked his best friend. Listen to that cry. It's like music. She laughed. The comments exploded. Her defenders vanish like roaches when the light flips on. Bryn's post went viral. People started digging. They found inconsistencies in Liana's story. Found old tweets. Old videos. And just like that, the narrative shifted again. People started messaging me. Apologizing. Some were even crying. Random DM. I believed her. I'm sorry. I see it now. You didn't deserve that. Another one. Your book saved my life. I was dating a Liana. And then, DM from Sarah Havoc. She did the same thing to my brother. He OD'd in 2019. I didn't know until I read your book. That one broke me. I cried harder than I had in months. Not because I was sad. Because someone finally understood. She tried one more trick. A lawsuit. Defamation. Harassment. Invasion of privacy. I was served papers. C put me in touch with a lawyer pro bono survivor advocate. He read through everything, then looked at me and said, "Lawyer, she has no case. It's fiction. You changed the names. Let her try." And try she did. Filed. Posted about it. Tried to rally her army. But the momentum had shifted. Her sponsors dropped her. Her podcast got pulled. A fan meetup was canceled due to security concerns. For the first time in her life, Liana B. was not the victim. I thought I'd feel victorious. I didn't. I just felt empty. All those years of damage. All the nights clawing at my own skin. All the times I begged her to stop, to love me, to see me. And now, she was fading. Her voice quieter. Her presence shrinking. She was no longer a storm. Just static. But even in the silence, I still saw her. In shadows. In old texts. In the twitch of my eye when someone said, "You're being dramatic." You don't forget someone like her. You survive them. If you're lucky. And I was. Just barely. I started writing again. This time, not about her. About me. About the boy who thought love meant bleeding. About the man who learned otherwise. I still wake up at 3 a.m., heart racing, waiting for another knife. But they don't come. She's still out there. Still posting. Still pretending. But I don't follow her anymore. I don't need to. She can rot in her palace of lies. I've already escaped. Part 6. After everything that happened, the book, the lawsuit, the backlash, I kept thinking there would be a moment when it all clicked. When I would finally feel like I'd won. But that moment never came. Because healing doesn't arrive with fanfare. It crawls in. Quiet. Slow. One deep breath at a time. And some days, not at all. The nightmares didn't stop. I still dreamed of her. Not just in the violent, obvious ways, her screaming at me, her cheating on me, her mocking me while I begged her not to leave. Sometimes the dreams were worse. Because in them, she was kind again. Gentle. She touched my cheek and said, "Liana, dream, I never stopped loving you." And I believe it. Every time. Until I woke up with that horrible knot in my chest, gasping like I'd been underwater. I started seeing a therapist. Her name was Naomi. She had soft eyes and didn't look at me like I was broken beyond repair. At our first session, she asked, "Naomi, why are you here?" I said, "Me, because I'm tired of hating someone who isn't even in the room." She nodded like she understood. Because she did. We spent weeks unpacking the layers. I told her about the time Liana made me cancel my mom's birthday dinner because she was sick, only to post pictures an hour later at a rooftop bar with someone else. "Naomi, how did that make you feel?" Me, guilty. Like I failed both of them. Naomi, and now, me, still guilty. That was the hardest part. Not the trauma. Not even the betrayal. It was the fact that, somehow, I still blamed myself. I told Naomi everything. How Liana used sex as a weapon. How she once left me naked and crying on the floor after I couldn't perform, then posted a story about boys who fake confidence. How she took photos of me while I slept and sent them to her group chat, captioned, "Liana, text, look at this loser. Still thinks I love him." Naomi didn't interrupt. She just let me speak. At the end of one session, she said, "Naomi, you survived. That's the part you keep forgetting. Around the same time, the book was picked up by a small indie publisher. They loved the rawness, wanted to put it in print, push it further. They offered in advance. It wasn't life-changing money, but it felt like an apology from the universe. Like someone, somewhere, saw the hell I went through and said, "You matter." I signed the deal. The title stayed, The Girl Who Ate Hearts. A warning label, in paperback. The publisher wanted a new chapter, an epilogue, something reflective, honest. I struggled with it. What do you say at the end of a story like this? How do you summarize the kind of pain that reshapes your bones? One night, I sat at my desk and wrote. I loved her like a religion. I worshipped every lie she told me because they sounded prettier than my own truths. And when she destroyed me, I thanked her for it. But now I know better. Love doesn't feel like dying. And healing doesn't come from the person who broke you. I sent it in. My editor cried. The book tour started quietly. Small cities, indie stores, local press. But the rooms were full, not of fans, of survivors. People who'd lived their own versions of Liana. Some had scars. Some had stories. All of them carried the same look in their eyes. That haunted, hollow hope that said, "Tell me I'm not alone." I always did. One night, after a reading, a girl came up to me, maybe 19, nervous hands, cracked voice. She said, "Girl, I think I'm still with my Liana. I don't know how to leave." I didn't give her a pep talk. I didn't say you're strong or you'll be okay. I just said, "Me, you're allowed to leave, even if you're scared, especially if you're scared." She cried, hugged me, left. A month later, she messaged me, DM. I left. I'm free. Thank you. I didn't stop smiling for hours. But not everyone was happy. Liana's fans, though fewer now, still existed. Still angry. Still delusional. They picketed a bookstore once, held up signs that said, "Liar," and "Stop victim blaming." One girl screamed in my face, "Fan, you just couldn't handle a strong woman." I didn't argue. You can't reason with a cult, especially when they're in love with their god, even if she's made of rot and sugar. Liana herself went quiet after the lawsuit failed, deleted her main account, started over under a new alias, rebranded as a healing coach. That's what broke me. She'd reinvented herself as the thing she never was, a healer. And people bought it, started quoting her, following her, liking her pastel trauma posts. Liana, new bio, helping women recover from toxic love. I nearly threw my phone. I sent the link to Naomi. She replied, "Naomi, narcissists always survive on reinvention. But the truth has roots now. Let her lie. You already told your story." I tried to believe that. I really did. But some nights, I still felt like I hadn't done enough. Like there were more people out there, walking straight into her web. People like me, or Nathan, or Sarah's brother. People who wouldn't make it out. So I wrote again. Another book. Not about Liana. About recovery. About me. About how I stopped checking my phone every 5 minutes waiting for the apology that would never come. About how I learned that closure isn't something they give you. It's something you dig up yourself, nail by nail, bone by bone. I called it After the Ruin. It wasn't a bestseller, but it reached the right people, and that was enough. Sometimes I see her, not in person, just shadows of her, a perfume in the hallway, a voice in a crowd, a laugh that sounds like knives, and I freeze. Then I breathe. Then I keep walking, because I survived her, and she can't touch me anymore. Part 7. It had been nearly a year since the book, since the lawsuit, since Liana tried to erase me and failed. But scars don't measure time. They just take less when the weather's right. And even though I had moved forward, publishing, therapy, speaking gigs, I still felt like a bomb that hadn't gone off. Until she came back. It started with an email. No name. Just the subject line. I know what she did. I almost deleted it. Thought it was spam. Or worse, bait. But curiosity is a sickness I've never cured. I clicked. The message read, "I dated her after you. It was worse. She made me believe you were a psychopath." I believed her. Until she did the same to me. I'm writing everything down. I thought you should know. D. That was it. Just a single initial. I sat there for hours, reading it again and again. I wasn't surprised she'd moved on to a new victim. That's what predators do. They circle. But the idea that he thought I was the abuser? That she'd poisoned him against me before she even hurt him? It hit harder than I expected. because it meant that even now, in someone else's story, I was still the villain. Weeks passed. No follow-up. I almost convinced myself I imagined it, until I got a message request on Instagram. A profile with no posts. No name. But the message said, at @D_Stone13. I'm ready. Want to talk? We set up a call. I didn't know what I was expecting. Maybe some scorned guy. Maybe someone who looked like me, haunted and hollowed out. What I got was worse. His name was Drew. He was 23, younger than she'd ever dated before. Still in college. Art major. Soft-spoken. He looked like someone who hadn't slept in months. Dark circles. Cracked voice. Like he'd swallowed glass and forgot how to scream. He told me everything. Drew, she met me at a poetry open mic. I was reading a piece about my dad dying. She came up after, crying. Said I moved her. Me, classic. Drew, she told me she'd never felt so seen. That I had the kind of soul that was rare. Said I was different. Me, let me guess. Within a month she was saying you were too emotional. Too needy. He looked at me. Nodded. His lips trembled. He'd gone through the same cycle I had. The love bombing. The idolization. The slow rot beneath the surface. She'd isolated him. Made him cut off his friends. She told him his mother was toxic. She made him block his sister. She convinced him to drop out to focus on his art. Then used that against him. Liana, he told me, I pay for everything. The least you can do is shut the fuck up. I asked him the worst thing she ever did. He didn't answer at first. Just stared off screen. Then he said, Drew, she recorded us having sex. Without asking. Then showed it to her friends. Called it performance art. I didn't know what to say. My stomach dropped. He kept going. Drew, she told me if I left, she'd send it to my professors. Said she'd say I raped her. I have texts. Me, you saved them? Drew, everything. We talked for 3 hours. Swapping stories. Comparing scars. He cried. I did too. There's a strange kind of comfort in shared suffering. It doesn't heal you, but it makes the pain feel less imaginary. A week later, Drew posted his own story. He didn't name her. Didn't have to. People knew. The comments exploded. Many believed him. Some didn't. But it didn't matter. The truth was out. Another voice added to the fire. And for once, I wasn't shouting into the void alone. The ripple effect was instant. 3 more people messaged me within days. 2 women. 1 non-binary person. All dated her. All had stories. All ended with the same phrase. I thought it was just me. Liana's mask began to slip again. Screenshots surfaced. Messages from her mocking Drew's story, calling him pathetic. One message said, Liana, text, I could ruin him with 1 tweet. Watch me. It got leaked. Her new brand, the healing coach persona, started to crack. A petition circulated, ban Liana B. from mental health spaces. Over 40,000 signatures in 3 days. She went private again, then silent, then gone. I thought I'd feel relief, closure, but that's not what came. What came was grief. Grief for the boy I used to be, the one who loved her, the one who thought that love meant suffering. I mourned him like a brother, held his memory like ashes in my chest, and I promised myself, never again. Naomi called it post-traumatic growth, the idea that after enough burning, something green might grow. I didn't believe her at first, but then I woke up one morning and realized. I hadn't thought of Liana in days. No nightmares. No obsessive Googling. No instinctive flinching at the sound of her name. Just silence. Beautiful, painful silence. I got invited to speak at a panel. Topic: Narratives of Survival. It felt surreal. To be the one with the mic. To be the one people looked to for strength. I stood on that stage, heart pounding, and said, Me's speech. I loved someone who made me want to die. And I thought that made me weak. But I survived. And survival isn't weakness. It's rebellion. The crowd stood. Some clapped. Some cried. One girl passed out. But when I walked off that stage, I felt tall for the first time in years. Later that night, I got another message. No profile pic. Blocked name. Just a single sentence. You lied. It was her. I stared at it for a long time. Then deleted it. No reply. That's what she hated most, silence. And I wasn't giving her anything else. Part 8, I thought deleting her message would be the end of it. Naive of me. Liana never left quietly. She needed the last word like oxygen. 2 days later, my phone rang. Blocked number. I never answer those. But something good instinct, maybe, told me to pick up. I did. Me, hello. Silence. Then breathing. Then her voice. Liana, you don't get to win. It was like being hit by lightning. The sound of her was enough to yank me back months, no, years. I didn't speak. Let her keep going. Liana, you're not special. You were nothing before me, and now you're just famous for being pathetic. Still, I said nothing. Liana, snarling, they'll forget you. Just like I did. Click. She hung up. I dropped the phone. My hands shook for 10 minutes. The worst part? My first instinct wasn't anger, or even fear. It was shame, like I had done something wrong by answering. I told Naomi. She was furious. Naomi, that's harassment. Reported. Me, it was a blocked number. She'll deny it. Naomi, then let her deny it. But don't you dare blame yourself for picking up a phone. That night, I changed my number. Again, 4th time in 2 years. Still didn't feel safe. The next few weeks were quiet. Too quiet. I kept waiting for the other shoe to drop. And it did. In the ugliest way possible. An anonymous account posted a thread on Twitter. 15 tweets. All accusing me of being the real abuser. Fake screenshots. Falsified DMs. A made-up ex claiming I hit her. It went viral in hours. Hashtag expose the real monster. Hashtag fake survivor. I watched it happen in real time. Thousands of retweets. Angry quote tweets from influencers who had never read my book. People demanding the publisher pull it from stores. Some said I should be in jail. Others said I should die. I called my editor in a panic. Me, they're trying to ruin me. Editor, we know. We're already investigating the source. Me, it's her. I know it's her. Editor, calmly, we're on your side. We believe you. That sentence nearly broke me. Because for the first time in years, someone believed me immediately. Not after proof. Not after tears. Just belief. Drew stepped up. Posted his receipts. Texts. Voice notes. A short video of her screaming that she would destroy him if he ever told. It helped. The tide turned. People apologized some. Others just went quiet, pretending they hadn't nearly ruined my life for a hashtag. Typical internet morality. Loud on the attack, mute on the retreat. Still, the damage was done. Sales dipped. Stores pulled signings. One library canceled my event, citing concerns. I went back to therapy twice a week. Naomi said. Naomi, this is her death rattle. She's losing control. Me, she still feels like God. Naomi, she's not. Gods don't beg for attention. I thought about quitting, deleting my account, disappearing, starting over. But then I got a letter. Handwritten. No return address. Inside was a photo. A girl, maybe 16, bald, hospital gown, holding my book. On the back of the photo, I was going to kill myself. Your words saved me. Thank you. I cried for hours. Then I made a decision. I wrote an op-ed. Not defensive. Not angry. Just honest. I laid out my story. The abuse. The manipulation. The smear campaigns. I said, we live in a world where abusers wear self-care slogans like armor. Where calling someone a narcissist is trendier than recognizing one. But I survived a real one. And no hashtag will ever erase that. The article exploded. More views than my book. More impact than I expected. News outlets picked it up. Interviews poured in. I went on national TV. Told my story with calm, measured pace. Some anchors were kind. Others tried to trap me. Anchor, do you think she's mentally ill? Me, I think she's dangerous. Anchor, but don't all abusers deserve compassion? Me, looking straight at camera, not when compassion becomes a weapon. That clip went viral. Somewhere, I know she watched it. I know it ate her alive. Not because I insulted her, but because I didn't say her name. To someone like Liana, being ignored is worse than being hated. Months passed. The fake thread was debunked. Fully. Emails traced back to a burner registered under one of her known aliases. My publisher sued for defamation on my behalf. We won. Quietly. I didn't even smile when I heard. Just nodded. Justice, while satisfying, doesn't undo the hours of shaking in a dark room wondering if you're about to lose everything. But it helps. The next time I saw her name was in a police report. Not mine. Someone else's. A new victim. This time she went too far. Threatened someone's family. Got recorded. Arrested. Charged with blackmail. I stared at the headline for a long time. Didn't feel joy. Didn't feel vindicated. Just empty. That night, I lit a candle. wrote down her name, folded it, burned it in my sink, watched the flame curl her into ash. And I whispered, "Me, you don't live here anymore." I kept writing, but not about her. Never again. I wrote stories of healing, love that doesn't sting, characters who survive not because they're strong, but because they're real. I visited schools, spoke to young men about boundaries, about love, about how fighting for her shouldn't mean fighting yourself. At one event, a boy came up after, couldn't have been more than 14, tears in his eyes, said, "Boy, my girlfriend told me if I leave, she'll kill herself." I didn't hesitate. "Me, that's abuse. You don't have to stay." He nodded, walked away a little taller. I don't know what became of Liana after the charges. I didn't follow, didn't care. Somewhere along the way, I stopped checking, stopped needing updates like closure was a movie sequel. That's how I knew I'd finally healed. When her silence wasn't suspicious, it was peaceful.